demand for copper continues to stall, but yet we still need more of the metal. On the hunt is Alma Metals, and here to tell us more about their Briggs Copper Project in far north Queensland is the Managing Director, Frazer Tabeart. Frazer, it's a pleasure to see you again. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Shay. How are you?
Excellent. Listen, copper, as you know, is one of my favourite metals to talk about, and I know the Briggs Copper Project is moving at speed. Now, you are just 2 months into a massive drill program. I think you said there's 40 holes to drill. Mate, tell me, how's the progress going here?
Yeah, really good. We're pleased with the way the drillers have started this campaign. So yeah, this year's component of our sort of pre-feasibility infill drilling program is about 40 holes, around about 12,500 metres, and then the goal is to double that again into next year. So it's a really seriously big program. And the main goal of this, of course, is to convert the inferred component of the resource to indicated, and then that becomes the basis for the assessments of a full pre-feasibility study in terms of mine scheduling, etc. So it's an important part of the program. So yeah, it's going well. We're 4 holes into that program. We've already drilled more meters than we drilled in all of 2025. So that's a good start. Drillers are settled in. We're double shifting with one drill rig, and we're looking at putting a few things into place so that we can get a second rig on site. Hopefully within sort of 4 to 6 weeks' time, and then really ramp up that work so that we can get those 40 holes finished this calendar year, and then do another 40 next year.
Frazer, one of the other programs that you are currently running on site as well is metallurgy work. Now, I know you did some met work last year, but it looks like this program is more extensive. Why is that, and what are you working towards?
Yeah, so the work last year was sort of looking at 2 master composites for the scoping study work that we did. Very, very successful, showing that we can get very high recoveries of copper at a very coarse grind size. The work this year has 2 components. So what we're doing is we're basically doing what we did last year, but we're now doing it on 10 additional samples that give us a greater spread of spatial distribution through the deposit, looking at different lithologies and looking at a range of copper grades. So it's all part of developing effectively a curve that allows us to match grade with recovery. So we're doing that on another 10 samples. We'll select another dozen samples later this year from this year's drilling program. So that all up then, when we finish that program next year, we'll have about 24, 25 sample points. That's statistically enough to support a pre-feasibility study as well. Then the other little component that we've just started work on as well is some further work on looking at molybdenum recovery. That's obviously one of the important byproduct credits for the program. So we're doing a specific work program to assess how we can optimise recovering as much of that molybdenum as possible.
Finally, you are currently working on some environmental baseline studies. Can you sort of give us a peek behind the curtain on what you're working on and why this is important for driving the project forward?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think there's a lot of people who are aware, projects of large scale, permitting is a critical part of that. And as part of the permitting pathway, baseline surveys are a critical part of that. So we've got sort of 3 assessments underway at the moment. The first one is looking at whether there are any critical flaws in our proposed tailings location sites from an environmental perspective and also from an engineering perspective. So we're getting some advice on that. The other one then is we need to set up a monitoring program for groundwater assessment. So we're working with consultants on understanding what data is currently available and what new data we'll need to collect. And that'll then form the basis of our program that we install. And then the final one is looking at geochemical characterisation of waste rock and tailings materials, so that we can determine whether they're going to be net acid forming or net acid ameliorating. And obviously then that's an important part of understanding what management's going to be required of those facilities in due course. So they're all sort of at the almost final scoping stage now, ready to start implementing those programs over the next 6 to 12 months.
So there's clearly a lot of work happening at the project now. What's sort of some of the immediate news flow items investors can look forward to hearing about?
Yeah, on that, we've got those first 4 holes drilled. The first 3 are already at the lap being cut. So we should start seeing assays flowing, I guess, in about 4 to 5 weeks' time. So look out for that. Once those start flowing, then, we'll be getting regular updates on assays probably every sort of 6 to 8 weeks, or maybe even more frequently than that. And then I think, certainly a little bit later this year, we should have some positive news flow from those metallurgical test work programs. So, plenty of information coming out on the project, all aimed at de-risking it. So, the goal is to complete a resource update this time next year, and then use that information to support the engineering studies for the pre-feasibility, and then finalise that towards the end of next year.
Well, it is great to see this near-term development project moving forward. Frazer, thank you so much for your time today, and I can't wait for those assay results.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, Shay.